Death and Resurrection. That was his fault.
It was it was a song. Amazingly, it was a song that was released in 1980 by a band called Killing Joke, who were
Didn't you play it to
very,
him and
very
he
good.
laughed?
Huh?
You played it to him and he laughed. I went, nice. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
But I mean, it's such an intense song. It was a really important song for me. Like after I'd had my little stint with kind of a interesting addiction to painkillers, and coming off of those, kicking the opiates.
I had no
I
knowledge of
remember
this.
sitting in I remember sitting in a chair, this chair for about 5 days, listening to Death and Resurrection show on a loop, and I just sat there, sort of holding on, like.
Wow.
And there's something about that song that's very, very, yeah, I don't know,
It's about the
personal,
most,
powerful. Yeah,
it is. Those climbing chords are about as heavy as
Yeah.
you could ever get.
yeah. So that was great that we ended up doing that one. At least for me, it feels like
A cleanse.
yes, I arrived at the place where I could actually play the song and not just have to listen to it gripping a metal chair.
Suzette Smith, are you here somewhere? You out there? There she is.
Oh, wait, wait,
Hello,
wait.
Suzette, in the front row.
You're on the other side of the glass.
Suzette asks, what has been the best part being back on tour in Europe and the U.S.?
For me, Jeff very simply and kindly, and his Jeff and his wife Sandra just took me in to their house, and I lived with them for months and months and months, and then we went on the first tour together. And so for me, having had to deal with other things at the same time, once those things, are down the road, and you drop into the tour, well, you it's like you're home, and you feel at home, like where I can actually be me.
Vegetarian food.
What's
for all
that?
that time. But I looked in the bin once and there was a McDonald's wrapper. Where did that come from?
I'd had that in my back pocket for weeks. It was a cheeseburger.
No, I wondered where he got it. We live 50 miles from the nearest. They asked me to do an honor. He was honorary man of the year at the Music Cares, and they said, "Please come and play with the Brian Wilson band, any one of Brian's songs." I didn't come properly prepared, and on the flight over, I learned. I can't remember the name of it, and they said, "Okay, great. Do you want to hear us play it first?" And they played this magnificent rendition. I went, right, that's the end of that. And then I foolishly started playing Surf's Up. They went, that's it, go away and learn it. So I spent the 8 hours solid learning it in bed, driving my missus crazy. And I thought, and it went really well, the standing ovation. And they said, oh, Brian wants to meet you. And I went, oh, man, this is it. This is the payoff. And he went, that was really pretty. And he went straight past. That was it. I turned around and followed him. I thought, you're not going to bollocks, Is that it? That was really pretty. Heartbroken. Shattered.
Didn't even
Done.
look at you. Not a glance.
I didn't know that he...
That was a 5-star review from him.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that's the most he said to anybody in weeks.
Yeah, probably.
The mystery of that remains, because
Yeah.
all the tour I was trying to talk, and he would talk about Dennis, because I loved Dennis's sort of mystery that he wasn't really those songs were just part of an album. Not, I found that song Time. It's a beautiful song. He's got such a deep, sincere voice when he sings, and he didn't mind talking about Dennis, but most of the time he was staring at the floor. I made the mistake of saying, "Do you want to do a blues album?" And he went, "No, no, anything but blues."
You said no.
I love the blues.
I thought, oh dear,
I
I
can't
just
say-
trod in it.
What am I going to do with the blues, man? That somebody else ain't done.
I understand.
Like,
It was a metaphor for a more wider, genre album.
Right.
This is just a saying. Do you want to make a blues album?
Yeah,
Although he took it the wrong way.
He just, no, he was, but he was because he was listening to things that were outside, really outside. He's listening to everything, and both of us were listening to, everything from, like really obscure stuff like Napoleon Strickland, Key to the Bushes, and then we'd be listening to Bauhaus, or we'd be listening to Killing Joke, or Deanne Ford. So we really explored a lot of just having kept our ears to the ground a bit. Just tried to sort of create something that was, I had a different approach, I suppose, especially for Jeff's. It was a very unexpected record, I think.
It started with
for Jeff,
down in your French house.
Yeah.
When Johnny was a late riser.
Yes.
And I thought, let's steal this drum kit from out of the office. He had a little sort of office where he worked, but the drum kit was penned in this little alcove.
Four of them stole it. I didn't wake up once.
So we dragged the kit from there to the main house just to see if it sounded, use the room sound. And it sounded like a Motown drum sound, which is, the holy grail of drum sounds. Mm. And I laid down a track with my engineer guy who, when he heard about Johnny, he came down there at about 400 miles an hour. So keen was he to get there. And I said, put on Ooh Baby by Miracles. And I played along the drum part. And we tricked it up a bit because I was a bit out of time. But the sound was pretty good. And I put the bass on and then the rhythm guitar and then just a little solo. And then he came in and went, what the fucking hell's this?
We'd already started.
And
I just woken up and I walked in with 2 bottles of rosé and ice, south of France
so
and everything.
Great.
And he goes, check this out. Bang. And it was,
It was the bare bones of the track.
It was the basis of the track.
I don't know why, I felt really sleepy, and I went to the bedroom next door to the studio, and I woke up and he was doing 3-part harmonies to it. I couldn't believe it. I just thought, this is amazing. You picked out the 3-part, and I thought, he said, I'm ready for you now. I said, no, you're going to sing now. If you can sing the backup as good as you did, you do the lead in falsetto. And he went white and then punched me in the face.
No, in fact, he just went, oh, you did that. I said, yeah. I'm thinking.
I think he hated me for about 3 months after.
I'm in trouble. I've put in like this, because I thought I put this layer. I'll just layer this little, like a little carpet, underneath the instrumental that we're about to do with Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. Ooh, baby, baby. So I threw these 3-part harmonies in. He hears them, comes in the room. He says, what's that? Who's that? Is that you? I said, yeah. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get kicked out of my own house now.